So I was up on that kind of pointed rock. Then there's a ledge down below me.
Yeah, I know that.
And that huge pool out there, that's always held big fish. And you clamber up the river and show up about that time. By then the fish is kind of getting tired and getting into that thing where it swirls around and all of a sudden I saw it. You know, it was tired enough that it got up to the surface. It was kind of done for.
Yeah.
But still, and all of a sudden I go, oh, I saw it. I go, well, that's one of those Klamath River toads. And you fish out your little trout
Mismatch.
landing net.
Bit of a mismatch.
And you had to catch it on the circle. If you miss it, it was off again.
Yeah.
And I called down to you and I go, once I saw how big it was, I go, which half of that fish are you planning on putting in that net? Look at that.
Oh, man.
Stars are starting to come out.
Yeah. Oh, stars. Craig, I got someplace to be.
That's right.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
it's been fun. I could do this all night with you. We have done this all night, but I gotta go.
All right. Be checking you.
All right.
Welcome to Trout Camp Live 2021. Once again, we're virtual this year. We're not at the Four Seasons, our Four Seasons landscaping. We're live from our Cal Trout studios in downtown Dunsmuir, California. I wish I was there in person with all of my friends. Shout out to Holmes and Watson. We have a great program for you tonight. I'd like to introduce to you California Trout's Executive Director, Curtis Knight.
Where is Curtis?
George, hey.
Curtis.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. I was at Trout Camp with Craig sitting around the fire and he started telling stories and so I'm sorry.
Let me guess, the one with the pointy rock, and then there's the ledge and the pool just there, and then the fish goes.
And I got the small net. You've heard that, yeah. That's
Fish
the
goes
one.
round and round, story goes round and round.
That's the one. That's the
All
one.
right, well,
All right.
glad you made it.
Yes, it was close. But George Ravel, owner of Lost Coast Outfitters, Cal Trout board member. Diesel is here again. And we are here at Pusher Studios on the banks of the Upper Sacramento again. And we are excited to be joining you for Trout Camp Live 2021. George, it was a year ago. We were here. And with a great amount of uncertainty and apprehension, I think everybody had a little bit of that on so many fronts. And for our work here at Cal Trout, would the support be there? Would the government grants keep flowing? Would we still be able to work with partners, contractors out on the grounds to get things done? And the answer turned out to be a resounding yes.
Thankfully.
In a pandemic-influenced 2020, our staff delivered, doubling the impressive amount of work in 2019. And it really started with you all on this day last year. You came through and blew us away with your support. You exceeded our expectations and allowed us to realize our biggest year ever.
That's really incredible. And this evening sets us up for another successful year ahead. And we thank you for being here with us again. It's our 50th anniversary. So tonight, let's reflect on our accomplishments over the last 50 years, looking at how these moments that write history continue to shape California and in many ways, the country today. Tonight, you'll get a healthy dose of inspiration as we highlight the work across the state, projects that you've made possible. We'll check in on some viewing parties, keep tabs on the auction, and give some updates throughout the evening. I'm sure we'll throw in some fun stuff too along the way.
There's going to be a few surprises. But before we get started, a big thank you to our sponsors who have supported this momentous 50th anniversary gala and really set the stage for a successful evening. More watershed sponsors than ever. This is at the $25,000 level. The Landreth family, Linda and Andy Ash, you all are always with us. Thank you. Oric, Mitch Zuckley and the team, thank you so much. Kelly and Carrie Barlow, board member. The Vadinsky family, Scott and Heather Tucker, James and Marie Green, American Pacific Group, Fraser Preston. We got to know Fraser last year at this event when he bought the Klamath River trip. We had a great time getting to know Fraser. Thank you all for your support there, along with our river, steelhead sponsors, and our trout sponsors. And here's our goal, to raise $1 million tonight. It's a big lift, and we're grateful through sponsorships, pledges, and the auction that's been open for about a week now. We're already north of $600,000.
Yeah, and the auction's such a huge part of tonight, and that's what tonight is about, highlighting our work, seeing those auction items and bidding on. So huge thank you to the trip providers, the fly shops, the guides, the artists, everybody who contributed to make this such a successful event.
So to get us warmed up, let's take a look at where we've been and where we're going with this short video.
"50 years ago, a small group of dedicated anglers, who knew firsthand the majesty of California's pristine waters and the native wild fish that depend on them, saw the writing on the wall. With wild fish populations in rapid decline, these activist anglers, Joe Paul, Richard May, Bill Quinn, and others, understood that you can't solve a problem by treating the symptom. California waters needed to be managed, protected, and restored to sustain wild fish. Thus, California trout was born, and with it, a new approach to conservation that would shape not only the California landscape, but the course of history. Over a half-century, Cal Trout has built an astonishing legacy of success through conservation, advocacy, and scientific innovation, restoring wild fisheries like Hat Creek, passing the California Wild and Scenic Rivers Act, winning monumental legal battles at Mono Lake, preventing the largest water bottling plant in the world on the McCloud River. These are the moments that write history, building with each success. How does Cal Trout do it? With a sound and time-tested working model that's built to scale. Every undertaking is rooted in science, beginning with proof-of-concept projects on the ground and scaling up success through policy and partnerships. With more than 60 large-scale conservation projects currently underway, a robust science program, and boots on the ground in the halls of Sacramento, Cal Trout's 6 regional offices work tirelessly with the local communities in which they live, building trust among diverse interests. Today, Cal Trout is charging forward, shaping the future of California, across the landscape, from ridgetop to rivermouth. Removing barriers and taking out obsolete dams, reopening the first source waters to sea river access for southern steelhead, partnering with farmers to reintegrate nature with altered landscapes by growing fish food on over 5,000 acres of Central Valley floodplain, using new technologies to bring ranching irrigation and water management practices into the 21st century in Klamath River tributaries critical to salmon and steelhead recovery. Finding innovative ways to combat the impacts of climate change through fuels reduction and meadow restoration in the Sierra. Taking a comprehensive, no-holds-barred approach to restoring the Eel River, one of the best salmon and steelhead strongholds in the state. And providing unceasing protection for our state's legacy trout waters, staying true to Cal Trout's origins. As we celebrate Cal Trout's 50 years, just imagine what the next half-century will look like as Cal Trout continues to unleash its impact across the landscape, toward a vision of California where healthy waters flow from headwaters to sea. The next 50 years starts now. Join us.
I am excited about the next 50 years. We have come a long way, but there's much more to do, and we couldn't do without it. We couldn't do this without our staff, these amazing people. So we're going to talk to them right now.
I'm so happy to be celebrating this 50th anniversary with all of you, and I want to introduce the fabulous staff whose vision and hard work give us such cause to celebrate. So going around the state, please wave when your team is called out. So Dr. Sandra Jacobson and her team, working in Southern California, who's dealing with a highly managed landscape down there, and also in the Sierras, working with some very fire vulnerable streams. Give a wave, everyone on that team. And then moving up to Pat Samuel, who's restoring the streams of the North Bay and the South Bay. Pat, give a wave.
Yeah, Patrick.
And then moving on to the Central Valley, where the Jacob Katz and Jacob Montgomery are showing us how we can reconcile the water needs of people and fish on the rice farms.
Hey, Gaby, you might need to mute your live stream. There we go. Not your Zoom call, but your live stream on the website, because we're getting a little feedback.
There we go. How's that?
So much better.
Thank you. Great. So we mentioned the Central Valley team, and then we were moving up to the North Coast. Darren Maru and his team, who are dealing with sea level rise as they currently restore 5 estuaries. Huge amount of work. On to Shasta, Drew Bra and his team, who give a wave, thank you.
Got Rich Bra there making a cameo. Good to see you, Rich. All right. Been a while.
Right, they're working to recover coho to repopulate the Klamath Basin when the dams come down.
Yes.
Yeah. And the policy team, Reggie Collins and his team, give a wave. They are advocating in Sacramento, yeah. And then also Rob Lusardi, kind of way of lumping you in there, Rob. Thank you. Our scientist and our bridge to our long-standing partner, UC Davis. Then we come to San Francisco, where so much happens. Let's call out the teams. There's communications, give a wave communications, who tell all the compelling stories. There is donor engagement, who you all probably know really well. Give a wave. If any of them are on this call and not working right now, give a wave. Thank you, Ash. Yeah. We have finance, who manage the cash according to the rules very carefully. Give a wave, finance. Yeah. And then we have the grants team, who bring home the big bucks. Give a wave, grants team. There we are. Thanks, everyone.
That is great. And while we got everybody here together, can we just put our hands together a little bit for Tracy Diaz, who's really quarterbacks this whole thing, her whole team. But Tracy, great job getting us to this point. Hey, thank you all. Love you all. We'll talk soon.
I mean, what an incredible group of people to make things happen day in and day out for Cal Trout.
It is. It's crazy. I have so much respect for what every one of them does. We always talk about if one of them went away, the whole house falls down. I mean, everybody plays such an important role. It's great to see everybody there.
Well, speaking of people who are special and play important roles, we have a special guest tonight, Sydney Kohara, to keep you and I in line.
We need it
as we're trudging through this. We'll be turning to her for auction updates throughout the evening and highlighting special events. So without further ado, I'll send it over to Sydney.
George, thanks so much. Curtis, I am so honored to be here. I have been on some of the Cal Trout fishing trips. I have seen some of the projects up close, and I am thrilled to support the great work this organization is doing. Our auction went live, about a week ago, and there has been so much action. Can you believe before the auction or before the show even started, we have already seen $160,000 in bids. We've got great gear, we've got great trips, we've got other experiences to bid on, more than 150 items up for sale. Okay, so here's how to get in on the action. Everything is happening at the auction website, so if you haven't already done so, please register to bid at the website. You can see it at the bottom of the page. And if you are on the auction website, if you haven't already done so, you see this red picture-in-picture button. You can place a bid in the auction, but you can also watch our live show at the same time because I know you don't want to miss anything that Curtis and George are going to be doing today. So happy bidding, everyone. Okay, let's take a look at a few of the custom items that were made just for Cal Trout. And we're going to start with the Cal Trout 50th anniversary commemorative poster by Bay Area artist Paul Waters. You have no doubt seen his artwork across Cal Trout's items and publications. Limited edition, only 50 prints made, signed and numbered, and we are auctioning off number 1 of 50 signed prints, and the number 1 will be framed to your liking. So that is a great auction item for this year's gala event. We also have an Alpenglow bamboo rod. It is built by Tony Bellever of Oakland-based Alpenglow Fly Rods. It takes more than 100 hours of craftsmanship. This is an 8.5-foot 5-weight rod. It is truly a one-of-a-kind item made specifically for Cal Trout's 50th anniversary event, and it is named, can you see it there? It is named after Cal Trout's very own Craig Ballinger, the Ballinger Special. Okay, and we cue my buddies here, and take a look at this. This Yeti cooler adorned with a custom golden trout painting. George, that's great. You missed your calling in life. It was created exclusively for Cal Trout by artist and angler Sarah Landstrom. It is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. This is perfect for your next tailgate party or camping trip. Isn't that great? Beautiful. Well, one thing is clear. You know, after being cooped up for, more than a year now, we all can't wait to get out on the river or join some of the amazing adventures that we are offering tonight. Our trip auction items, they are on fire. We have some great trips from premium trip providers, Flywater Travel, Chocolate Lab Expeditions. They are all coming up. We're going to tell you all about them. But right now, I want to throw it back to Curtis and George because, you know, I have to do a little online auction shopping. Okay? Guys, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Sydney. It is so great to have you here with us. You are a stabilizing force here in the chaos that George and I are creating.
Show us how it's done.
Yes, show us how it's done. So, George, our board is pretty amazing.
We do have a great
I
board.
say that in part because you're on our board.
Well,
Yeah,
despite
but
me.
we also, our board chair, Paul Vase, leads the way, and we have a quick message from Paul.
Thanks, Curtis, and thanks, George and Sydney. As chairman, it's my pleasure to extend a warm welcome on behalf of all of Cal Trout's board of directors. Thanks for tuning in. Last year, you, our donors, really came through for us during very uncertain times. You exceeded our expectations, and for that, we are supremely grateful. Now, it's our turn to exceed your expectations. Tonight, we begin the celebration of our 50th anniversary, a milestone by itself, which is fairly amazing. Most nonprofits go 20 years tops, but not Cal Trout. Turns out the problems we work on take a long time to set right. As anglers, we don't quit early. We keep working diligently until success is achieved, or we run out of light. And in a sense, you, our donors, provide the light for us to keep working on and on and on, as long as it takes. We're putting that light to very good use. I'm happy to report that we continue to grow in scale and influence. For instance, in the last quarter, we deployed 80% more capital into conservation projects than the very same period just 1 year ago. And the amount of capital secured for conservation projects is up 50% from where it was a year ago. We are scaling up while increasing our efficiency, generating bigger, more substantive benefits sooner. Operationally, this is a superb trend, and we intend to keep our foot on the gas. Now, as we look forward to the next 50 years, and in light of the dire threats our native wild fish face, we remain committed to creating long-term,
measurable gains. Those are simple words, but in reality, it's a massive challenge. It requires us to be vigilant wherever freshwater flows in California, from headwaters to estuaries and anywhere between our northern and southern boundaries. It also requires us to expand the relevancy of Caltrout's work to a larger, more diverse group of Californians, and to ensure the benefits accrue to as broad a set of Californians as possible. You'll hear more about this in the coming year. Again, thanks for being there for us tonight and helping shape the next 50 years of Caltrout for all Californians. Thanks. Back to you, Curtis.
Thank you, Paul, the entire board, for your support and your leadership. One thing we're going to be doing tonight is walking through the decades, starting with the 1970s. George, Grateful Dead seems very appropriate.
Gotta love them for a Marin-based person.
I don't know if you noticed.
Coal gang?
Cool in the Gang.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, you act like you know who they are.
I don't.
You don't know.
I
See,
don't.
who can believe that? I mean, when were you born?
1988.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem. Part of the problem.
Well, Caltrout was actually founded in 1971, 50 years old. Our very first restoration project was on Hat Creek, where the concept of managing rivers for wild trout was proven.
Yeah, and we're still active on Hat Creek today out of our office in Mount Shasta, which was our first regional office. And today we have 6 throughout the state. Drew Braw leads our Shasta-Klamath office. Let's hear from Drew.
Sometimes in this world, it's hard to believe that individuals can affect change at any meaningful scale. But I look at Caltrout, I look at this group, day after day, giving it everything they've got, and over time, the progress starts stacking up. From restoring Eagle Canyon on Battle Creek, to our wild trout monitoring program on the Fall River, restoring Hat Creek, and all of the partnerships that we're building in the Shasta and Scott watersheds in preparation for Klamath Dam removal. The Shasta-Klamath region is on a record-breaking pace in terms of projects completed this year and total revenue generated for conservation. And none of it would be possible without all of our incredible partners like Aquaterra Consulting, North Rivers Construction, David's Engineering, and the UC Davis Center for Watershed Sciences. That's the team that's really making it possible up here.
Working with landowners through the Safe Harbor Agreement has really allowed us ways to bring technology and resources to the land so that they can replumb the ranches and have more efficient irrigation systems, saving water for fish. A lot of these ranches have been doing things the same way for generations, and that resulted in a decrease in coho population over the years. And so by bringing the resources and the technology, we're asking them to make big changes that they might have some resistance to at first, but then really seeing how it can benefit their ranch, they're fully on board, and it's really exciting to see.
We've been on this particular ranch since 1967. Our father irrigated with a shovel. Gravity irrigation. And now with modern technology, we're doing gravity again, but it's not our hard work. The fish win and we win, and we're very glad that we were involved.
To date, we've built a new fish screen on the Shasta River, 3 miles downstream from the original point of diversion, a new pump station that can irrigate with their full water right, their 3 CFS, and almost 4 miles of underground pipeline.
I'm proud to say we anticipate completing almost $4 million in projects this year spread across the region. We prioritize major water infrastructure projects in the Shasta and Scott watersheds. We collaborated with the Scott River Water Trust to launch a mid-Klamath water leasing program to enhance flows. We finalized in-stream habitat restoration projects on the South Fork and Mill Shackelford tributaries to the Scott River. And finally, in the Battle Creek watershed, we embarked on one of the region's largest and most ambitious channel restoration and barrier removal projects to support winter run Chinook. Just a few years ago, it'd be incomprehensible to think that Caltrout would be operating at this scale, especially through the pandemic. But here we are. Great leadership, dedicated board of directors, remarkable staff, and the best individual donors that an organization could ask for.
And Drew and his team are doing such an incredible job. I mean, we always talk about that science-first approach, and that exemplifies what's going on there. But also just a strong focus on that local community to actually bring it all together and affect meaningful change, and that exemplifies it.
Yeah, that Cardozo project does for sure. Drew and his team really have the touch down, and it does start with science. Science is an important component of that. Our partners at UC Davis, Center for Watershed Sciences, and UC Berkeley are a big part of that science effort. So let's talk to them right now.
Couldn't really think of anything else.
It's the end of the exam.
Yeah, and Mary starts going like this. She's like,
Oh, we got some stories going. Hey, everybody.
Hey. Hey.
I like it. Lively chatter. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Phil was impersonating Mary Power, impersonating a cane toad.
Oh, yeah. Keep going, man. That might be the best thing of the show. You might steal the show tonight.
moment.
Yeah. That's great. Well, hey, Carson, who do you got? This is great. I see Carson, Peter Moyle. Great to see you. Jay Lund. Great crew.
Yeah, we also have the Berkeley crew here as well. There's this has been a fun talking about how we all got here type thing, and how the science we're doing is kind of changing and moving things forward in lots of ways.
Well, it's great to see the two big UCs coming together. So thanks you all for joining. Gabe, great to see you. Stephanie Carlson and Ted from UC Berkeley too. What a crew. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We're walking through the decades. You heard that. And one thing we're going to do with you all is play a quiz. So you're going to have 3 questions, rapid fire, has to be a rapid answer. The theme is in the 70s. Are you ready?
Peter,
European
and
swallow.
Catherine, Jay.
I'm not that old, Carson.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Carson wasn't born yet, maybe? When were you born, Carson? Not in the 70s.
No, I made it in the 70s.
Okay, there we go.
In.
All right. Okay, your first question, Hat Creek. There's an area by the PG&E power plant. It's a famous fishing area. What's it called?
The Powerhouse Riffle.
There it is. Carson, great job. Okay, keeping with the water theme here, so keep this in mind. 1974, President Richard Nixon, the first president to resign over what scandal?
Watergate.
Watergate. There we go. You guys are pretty good.
That's the water connection. Where's the fish in there?
Fish need water, Peter. Yeah, fish need water. Okay. 1977, CalTrout sponsored the first national symposium on this now widely accepted angling ethic. This one's a little harder. No.
Catch and release.
Catch and release. Carson. All right. Hey, you guys are pretty good. Not bad for a bunch of scientists.
I know, we've been studying.
Bunch of pointy heads.
Bunch of pointy heads. You guys didn't disappoint. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is wonderful.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity to get together.
All right, see you guys.
All right, thanks.
Well, speaking of catch and release, it's an ethic that started here, Northern California, on Hat Creek. Now it's a household name amongst anglers, right? I grew up thinking catch and release always was, always will be, and taking it for granted.
And it started right here in Northern California.
It's incredible. Well, we should check in with Sydney and see how the auction items are going. Sydney?
Okay, I remember when there was no catch and release, and now it's just such a pleasure to catch a great fish and put it back, knowing someone else will be able to, enjoy the pleasure of catching a fish like that. I've been checking on the auction. It is great to see so many people excited about all the items that we have. I want to showcase some of the really unique items up for bid. Let's start out with some 50-year-old Bordeaux wines in honor of CalTrout's 50th, donated by Judy Barrett and Dave Vella with Chateau Montelena. Those look old, and I bet they are amazing. Right now, they are going for $1,900, 50-year-old Bordeaux wines. Another great auction item, Val Atkinson Fall River Trip. Look how beautiful that is. A wonderful adventure to Fall River, 4 days, 3 nights, fishing in the legendary Fall River and Hat Creek with guides from Confluence Outfitters. And this is a great part. Val will photograph your angling adventures. I mean, think of it, beautiful gift idea for the fishermen in your life. I mean, how many fishermen get a chance to have a professional photo of themselves enjoying their favorite sport? So that's a great one. And already the Fall River trip with Val Atkinson, John Parsons, $5,500. Good for you, John. That's great. Also, here's another great one. You can join Carson Jeffries and the team at UC Davis. We just saw them on the video there, along with Regional Director Drew Braw, for passive integrated transponder, the pit tagging on the Fall River where they're tagging all the fish. It is a great way to see science in action, and I think it's just a wonderful opportunity to bring your maybe STEM-focused teen or other science-minded friend along and see exactly, you know, how science and nature are working together and the things that Cal Trout is doing for the good of these fish and the waters. And we are so thrilled too to see that, gosh, we have almost 200 people watching, our viewing audience from around the state. Many of you, a big shout out to all of you in Southern California. Also, hello to our Cal Trout friends in Florida, British Columbia, and even as far away as Singapore. We are so thrilled to have you join and support us from near and far. Definitely, that is the part of the silver lining of this virtual world, because otherwise, and we couldn't fit all of these people into the ballroom like we usually do. So this is really kind of a real blessing for Cal Trout. Okay, we said we were going to have a lot of fun, guys, right? Right?
We did.
All right, as we're reflecting back on the 70s, many of you can remember it was a time when game shows really took off, and even today they continue to be popular. But there was one particular show called Concentration. Remember that one? Well, we're going to resurrect it, this game, where we're calling it Fishtails. And here's how it works. We're going to share a puzzle with you, a puzzle where the pictures and the letters make up a phrase. And the first one of you to text the correct name, your name, and the correct answer to 909-683-1971. That's 909-683-1971. You can see it on the screen there. You will win a collection of our Cal Trout 50th anniversary items. Let me grab a few of these here. Take a look. You get the buff, you get a pennant, and you get, George, where's your nice filled mug over there? And you get one of these great camp mugs. So that is great. What we want to do is we're going to practice first, because I tried this on George and Curtis at the beginning, and I felt like we maybe needed a little practice there. So let's practice one. Let's take a look at this. And here's a clue to all of them. The answer to each puzzle has a connection to Cal Trout's history. So come on, George. Come on, Curtis.
Fish.
No.
Cat.
That's already says fishtail. That's a cat.
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 Catch and reel east. Catch and release.
Woo! George, you're on fire. On fire.
Good.
That is great.
I was still thinking.
George, you're
trying to read that.
Curtis, you're a little
Why
slow.
you go so fast?
All right. So now that you know how it's done, here's our first fishtail. And remember, you have to text your name and the correct answer. Okay, take a look. Take a look.
Oh, that is hard.
All right, it's a little bit harder. Come on, Curtis. You can do this. Come on. Ooh.
Well, it starts with a W.
I see it's pointing to like a little, all right,
Kid.
Child.
Oh.
But if you take the CH out.
Child.
Okay, so wild and, come on.
Look.
C. Come on.
Right, wild and see it.
Okay, that. Oh, wait.
Oh!
Thank goodness.
Got it?
Thank goodness. Good
wow.
Lord. Okay. All right, we have a winner. We have a winner out there.
Okay.
Sarah Trenchel.
Sarah Trenchel wins the Cal Trout 50th anniversary. She got it. I have to tell him. Wild and Scenic Rivers Act. Wild and Scenic Rivers Act. So, Sarah.
Well, our
Yeah. We're going to have more fish tales.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
Sydney, that was tons of fun. I mean, our viewing audience is I'm impressed.
Didn't know
They're
we
on
were
top
gonna
of
have
it.
Mensa test tonight. Well, the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act is a pretty special thing. It's one of the most, if not the most impactful legislative action here in California. You know, it's really set the stage for protecting the best rivers in California. Rivers like the Eel, the Klamath, the Scott, Smith, and the Trinity, just to name a few. So over 2,000 river miles have been protected on 26 different rivers across the state. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. I think that's well said. And instrumental in making that happen back in the 70s were a group of dedicated activist anglers like Cal Trout's co-founders, Joe Paul, Richard May, along with Bill Quinn and many others who formed the Committee of 2 Million. Sadly, Joe Paul passed away suddenly before witnessing then Governor Ronald Reagan sign the act into law. I did get a chance to sit down recently with Cal Trout co-founder and first executive director, Richard May, and talked about the early days and his hopes for the future. So let's take a look.
You're entirely welcome. It's been a very productive 50 years of the organization, and I'm proud to have played a part. Well, we had just come out of a fight to stop the Dos Rios Dam on the Middle Fork of the Eel, and that was rather startling accomplishment that Joe Paul headed up. That's when we decided in Joe Paul's dining room in the Pacific Heights area of San Francisco one dark evening to establish a different organization and go forward from there. And that's where we decided to form California Trout. And within just weeks, that was done. So we had a big agenda in front of us because we wanted to change the way trout were managed in California. And we wanted to protect the North Coast rivers from the incessant damming programs of the state of California. Well, I want to be sure that the fishermen of the future can be as dedicated as many of us have been for the last 50 years to look after the resource and make sure that it is protected and enhanced and making it available for the future. I mean, 50 years from now, we want people, men, women, children, to be able to enjoy these resources and have some sort of a picture of how things were, and maybe even better if we've done our job right.
Richard, I mean, he's a personal hero of mine. I mean, he's done so much for our state, right? I mean, it's incredible that this group had the foresight to put together an organization like Cal Trout. And every time we step into a river, I mean, we're realizing the benefits of that initial vision. And Cal Trout's staff continues to build on that vision. And I can't think of somebody who's doing better at telling that story than Mikey Weir.
Yeah, it was fun to sit down with Richard and right, telling the story is such a big part of what we do. And Mike Weir, one of the people helping do that, he's our videographer, roaming reporter. He's one of the fishiest guys I know, George. I mean, you're in the mix.
Different type of fishy.
Yeah, okay. Mike spent some time on the Klamath recently, and he shared this report.
Hey, it's Michael Weir, Cal Trout's roving reporter. Over the past 10 years, I've been lucky to see just about every project that Cal Trout's been involved with. And right now, I'd have to say I'm the most excited about the Klamath Dam removals. Today, I'm on a remote tributary to the Klamath, and over the past few years, getting to spend some time up here and really get to know this river and get to know its tributaries and the communities around here. And it's something incredible to be a part of, to see the Mid-Klamath Basin recovery strategy that Drew's doing, working with ranchers and farmers to get water back in the creeks, these really important strongholds for native coho, salmon, and steelhead. And then to be working with the tribes downstream that want their salmon back and have been advocating for dam removal for years. To see the work that Curtis has put in over the last 20 years, sitting at the table at all these meetings, all these different partnerships, all these different stakeholders, and finally to culminate in the removal of the 4 main stem dams on the Klamath River. I mean, it's incredible. And it's awesome to play a small part in this and to get to be up here and to bring these stories to you. This is gonna be the biggest river restoration project in history. It's gonna set a precedence that's gonna be viewed by people for generations to come. We're gonna open up almost 400 miles of historic habitat for salmon and steelhead. And I get to see what the Klamath is now, but to look back into the past and see what this place used to be, and to really feel that the true heritage of this landscape is that it's a salmon and steelhead producing landscape. Those salmon supported native peoples here for tens of thousands of years. All human inhabitation on the West Coast was centered around runs of salmon, and this was one of the biggest of them. And so to honor the true natural heritage of this landscape and be able to play a part in restoring salmon to this landscape, the social justice aspect of it, the ecological restoration aspect of it, the native fish stronghold aspect of it, giving these salmon and steelhead somewhere that hopefully in perpetuity they can thrive for generations and generations to come. And that's something that's just, it's really special to be part of. It's an honor for me, and I'm glad to share these stories with you. And so thank you for your support of California trout, and I really do believe that the best is yet to come.
That was great. I mean, you could see Mikey's passion there and really highlighting that tribal perspective. I mean, the Klamath River is such a tribe river, even today still. And this tribal aspect, I mean, we have at Cal Trout learned and grown to better understand this deep connection that our tribal communities have had for thousands and thousands of years with these fish.
Another great example of Cal Trout using watersheds to build community around them and get things done. I mean, and the Klamath River, it's happening in spades.
The Klamath River, the Yurok, the Karuk, the Round Valley Indian tribes over on the Eel, the Wiyot down in Southern California, we've really appreciated the partnerships and getting to grow and learn with those communities. George, Sydney, this brings us to a very important point in the evening, the fund and need. This is where is your opportunity to directly support our vision for the future.
Absolutely, and we've been talking about this milestone all evening. 2021 marks California Trout's 50th anniversary. For a conservation organization, I mean, that puts us in some pretty rare company.
Yeah.
We're incredibly proud of the impact we've made.
NPR was founded 50 years ago.
That's pretty incredible. We're so incredibly proud of the impact we've made across the state over the past 5 decades, and we're thankful to all of you who've made it possible. None of this happens without truly great leadership, though. I'm going to refill my drink so you can hear the message directly from the top. Curtis, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Thanks, George. So in celebrating our first half century, we're looking back at what we've accomplished over the decades to recognize the broad-reaching influence that one single moment can have on the lasting future of California's fish, water, and people. These moments that write history, these specific projects, they're like ripples in a pond, creating benefits that extend far beyond just those immediate results. A simple demonstration project on 3 miles of water, Hat Creek, can turn into an entirely new model for wild fisheries management. One single legislative victory, the Mono Lake case, can protect the public trust for generations to come. A scientific hypothesis, the Nagiri Project, can influence statewide water policy. But we also know our work has only begun. Right now, this moment in history, we're doubling down on our mission of ensuring healthy waters, resilient wild fish for a better California. We believe to fulfill our mission, we must involve all Californians as our resilience, socially, organizationally, and biologically, depends on diversity. We must prioritize projects that mitigate against climate change as the primary threat to the health of our fish, water, and people of California. The next 50 years starts now. Now is our time to invest in big ideas. And Cal Trout's positioned to lead the way. We're science-driven. We're ambitious. We are problem solvers. We're collaborators. And we are in it for the long haul. With all that we've accomplished in the last half century, just imagine the impact we'll be celebrating at our centennial. We can't do this without you, the Cal Trout community.
We are leaders.
Nailed it.
We are leaders.
Building a model for the rest of the country and the world to follow.
We are scientists.
We are scientists.
We are scientists. Relying on science to guide our research, policy, and restoration.
Using science to inform advocacy has never been stronger than it is today.
We are innovators.
How else could you figure out how to grow salmon in rice fields? We are problem solvers.
We're the brave ones that people turn to.
To get things done.
We are collaborators
Finding practical solutions.
that work for all.
We are inclusive.
Realizing and recognizing that every voice is important.
Every person and every occupation is of value. We are educators.
We are educators, informing our members and the next generation about the importance of stewarding California's natural places.
Enthusiastically educate and include everyone in appreciating fish, water, and people.
We are persistent.
We're not afraid of the long commitment this work requires. We're in it for the long haul.
We are outdoor enthusiasts, and we believe that everyone should have access to the recreation,
Education.
And balance that the outdoors provide.
We're neighbors.
Neighbors.
And like a good neighbor, CalTrout is there.
I support CalTrout.
I support CalTrout.
I support CalTrout.
Because CalTrout will be there all the way until the job's done. Sticking with things over the long run. Going the extra mile.
If it weren't for organizations like CalTrout, this world would be a very different place.
If it weren't for CalTrout, there would be another big dam on the Eel River.
There wouldn't be hundreds of miles of designated wild trout waters.
We wouldn't have these abundant runs of wild, resilient fish in California.
California is special to me.
California is special to me.
Because of its people.
Because of wide open spaces.
because I was born and raised here.
Because of its diverse landscapes.
I support CalTrout because that organization has helped to save our ranch.
Because the environment matters.
Because I believe that water is life.
I believe in California trout because of its people.
We bring people together, and we're changing the future of California for the better.
In 50 years,
I hope
California's rivers are crystal clear,
vibrant aquatic ecosystems,
running wild and free,
and full of fish.
I want to have my grandsons tell you all about the great things that CalTrout has done for their second 50.
I hope California's rivers and fish will be safe from climate change.
Another 50 years from now, indeed, I will be old. But CalTrout will still be there, doing what it does so well. And to that, hats off to you, CalTrout.
Happy 50th, CalTrout. We love you.
Happy 50th anniversary, CalTrout.
Happy 50th birthday, CalTrout!
Happy anniversary, CalTrout.
Happy 50th, CalTrout.
Happy birthday, CalTrout.
Sal, can you say happy birthday, CalTrout?
Wow, I mean, the CalTrout community,
Sal
man.
was bringing it there.
That's awesome. I mean, the CalTrout community is such an amazing, passionate group of people.
Yeah,
They
that
always blow me away.
That was great.
And their support has allowed CalTrout's mission to flourish for the past 50 years. This is our fund and need. When we're in person, this is the part of the evening where we'd ask you to raise your paddle and support our work. If you're watching in full screen, please exit out and click on the Fund and Need button at the top of your browser. As we mentioned, our goal tonight is to raise $1 million. With the generous contributions from our sponsors, some pre-pledges to our Fund and Need, and some strong bidding in the auction, we're just shy of $700,000.
We're knocking on
already.
700,000.
I mean,
That's amazing.
It's
We're going to get there.
incredible.
So this is it. I mean, this is the time to push us over the top. I mean, we've already received some significant support from longtime supporters, the Chu Sheppy family. Thank you, Chris and crew. Board member Bob Rosenberg, Bob and Susan Rosenberg, and longtime supporter Richard Barker.
Absolutely, and I know we've had a few just pop through. Daryl Boyle, Richard West, Bill Curvan, Jeff Mount. I mean, just to name a few, they're still coming in, and we tremendously appreciate it.
Right.
So we hope everyone viewing tonight can make a contribution, no matter the amount. Let's shine a light on the next 50 years of improving our rivers and fish for the benefit of all Californians. If you're here tonight, you've likely received a tremendous amount of benefit from our rivers. So please donate. Get your friends to donate. Let's invest in the future of California trout and our future as California anglers.
Well said, George. These next few years are going to be crucial. Our rivers, our native species, we're entering into another year of drought. The impacts of climate change, they just keep on coming. We have our work cut out for us, and one of the areas of the state that feels this most acutely is the Sierra.
For sure. I mean, California has one of the most variable weather climates in the world. And with decreasing snowpack, the threat of fire, the Sierra Headwaters region It's in the news and it's on the front lines of these issues.
Yeah, it really is. And we're working there with a broad partnership, restoring meadows to improve water security, helping reduce fuels, and keep fishing communities safe. Let's hear what Sierra Regional Director Sandy Jacobson has to say.
The Sierra Nevada mountains have majestic snow-capped peaks, incredible biodiversity, and in these headwaters are the meadows that have native trout such as the Kern River rainbow trout, the golden trout, the Paiute, and the Lahontan cutthroat trout. Our vision at Cal Trout in the Sierra region is to protect these natural resources, particularly the source water and the fish habitat. Meadows of the Sierra Nevada are among the most pristine places left in California. Meadows also fill an essential role for the ecosystem. They store and release water throughout the year, which makes its way into the rivers as is cold, clean water year-round. Meadows also capture carbon below ground, so this helps with us dealing with the effects and impacts of climate change. Meadows are also resistant to wildfire, which really makes them a bedrock of biodiversity. So our vision is to protect these source waters and improve fisheries habitat. We use science-based restoration to maximize carbon sequestration, to protect these meadows and the native trout populations. They're all connected. We will build on this vision to integrate the key fire-resistant features of meadows, water-laden and thin forests that are healthy, so that we can create these landscape-scale mosaics of fuel breaks. These fuel breaks not only protect our natural resources and associated ecological, economic, and recreational benefits, but are an important part of effective planning to mitigate the impact of climate change.
Yeah, Sandy's incredible. Those images of meadows in the Sierra, I mean,
beautiful.
It's some of the most beautiful places in California, I think. George, we're in the 80s. We're walking through the decades. Madonna's singing it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stick with the Sierra.
All right.
On the east side of the Sierra, Cal Trout in the 80s had one of its most significant victories, the Mono Lake cases.
Yeah, I mean, you might say that the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power had a real appetite for destruction.
Oh, I get it. That's very clever. That's very clever. They sure did. LADWP completely dewatered tributaries to Mono Lake, like Rush Creek, completely dry. The legal victory returned flows to these creeks, raised the water level of Mono Lake, a true David versus Goliath win for Cal Trout. So, let's stick with the 80s. Let's hook up with another viewing party, the Landras.
Nice.
They also just finally turned DWP around on Rush Creek, actually.
Hey there.
Hi.
Folks, Felicia, were you filling in the details there on the
Is that
Mono
no,
Lake?
Dad?
They also just, I just was starting to talk about the latest drama.
Okay, the latest drama.
Hey there. We need your help.
Hi.
So,
What's up, Curtis?
Is that no, Dad? They also just, I just was starting to talk about the latest.
Somebody needs to mute the live stream.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know who has it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Leon, how are you? Bill.
All right, Curtis, how you doing?
Great to see you, Bill. And I don't know who's with you, Bill. Never seen that guy before.
Go there. Don't go there.
Okay.
David Kennedy just left.
Oh, wow. I talked to him earlier.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Kurt Thomas here. Good to see you, Kurt.
Thank you, sir.
Peter Landreth and Ian are together tonight. That's wonderful.
Jean and
Felicia.
Charlotte say hi.
Great. And Felicia, great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. This is awesome.
Yeah. Well, Bill, one of the things we wanted to do with your crowd, you've seen what we're doing, walking through the decades. We're sticking with the 80s. We've been doing these quizzes. So we have 3 rapid fire questions to run at you.
And we have a champion.
Yeah.
Peter's the champion.
Okay, Peter's going to be the champion.
Don Peter.
Yeah, you're already embarrassing your son. All right, here we go. Okay, so you guys ready? Here we go. First question. Cal Trout 1 and 2 are legal cases. set precedent for protecting flow's public trust after LADWP diverted streams to what lake? I mean, we were just talking about this. This is kind of a softball.
Mono Lake.
Mono Lake. All right, there we go. Nice job, Leon. All right, here's another one. This hockey game in the 1980 Olympics between the USA and Russia was known as
Miracle on
Miracle
Ice.
on Ice. I know
Miracle
that.
on Ice. There we go. Who said that? Was that Pete Boyle?
That was it. Might even have been Ian.
Everybody.
Oh yeah, okay.
Everybody.
Jared Landers was barely alive.
Yeah, that's right. All right, here's the last one. It's gonna be a little bit harder. In the 1980s, Cal Trout fought for the Eel, Trinity, Klamath, and Smith rivers to be included in the federal Wild and Scenic Act. All rivers famous for what fish species?
Steelhead.
Steelhead. There it was.
Yeah.
You guys are quick. Hey, they're quick.
Another Peter.
Another Pete. I wouldn't
right.
expected that from Pete Boyle. That's impressive, Pete. Nice job.
This is the A team.
That's the A team. That's the A team. Bill, give us some parting words here, Bill.
Why is everyone so negative on Peter Boyle?
It's a long story. It's a long story.
Don't go there. We look forward to seeing you on the Fall River, Curtis.
Yes, Fall River in September. I'll look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Curtis, best to you and your family. Tight line.
All right. Thank
Way
you,
to go,
Bill.
Curtis.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks.
Well, we've had some awesome action in our auction, so we're going to pass it on to Sydney, see what's going on.
All right, George, thanks very much. We're going to keep things in the Sierra Range right now. We have a trip donated by Matt Herron for a guided day on the Truckee River. Now, Matt's trip, it went so fast. Someone bought it with the Buy It Now feature, and so he has graciously donated a second trip. So thank you very much, Matt Herron. And that second trip already going for $1,100, Wally Wallner. Another Truckee destination, your chance to visit the San Francisco Flycasters Club property on the Truckee River. Another really nice opportunity to experience the Truckee River at an iconic lodge, 3 days, 2 nights, guided fishing trip for 2 anglers. And that one is, oh wow, Kelly Barlow, up to $6,500. Kelly is also a Cal Trout board member, so thanks very much for that. Now, let's take a look at one of our premier trips donated by Flywater Travel and Ken Morrish. This is a spring trophy steelhead trip for 2 to the Skeena River Lodge in British Columbia. So get ready to muscle in some of Skeena's strongest sea-run steelhead and salmon. Now, George tells me that the Skeena is the steelhead superhighway. They got to go down that highway to get to the tributaries. So pretty good. That one I have heard so much about. That's legendary, on the bucket list. All right, we've got a lot of auction items going. Shoot, we've got about 30 minutes left, so please get your bids in and let's keep moving that little thermometer up to $1 million. All right, how about another round of fishtails? You guys are so good at this.
We are.
Not.
We're excited.
I'm not so good, but we're excited.
All right, remember, I know you're smart out there, so text your name and number to 909-683-1971. Let's take a look at this one. Here, go ahead.
That looks
Come
hard.
on, work it, guys.
I helped design this one. I'm going to recuse
Okay.
Oh, are you?
myself.
Well, I see
Yes.
a key
I need to recuse.
and a pair.
Okay.
Pair, keeper.
On or
What is that?
I don't get that one.
Keeper.
on or off. Good.
Oh, thank
forget
God.
it. Okay.
Keeper of the stream.
It was keeper of the stream.
Keeper of the stream. I got the
You're
first word.
disappointing
I got
me.
the first
The
word.
winner?
Paul Vase.
Paul Vase.
No way.
Wait, he's an insider.
Chairman of the board?
I know.
I knew he was a smart guy.
I know. Good for you, Paul. Keeper of the stream. That was it. Paul, we will be getting you some Cal Trout memorabilia because
More
we know you
swag
don't
for
have
Paul.
any, right?
Yeah, more
okay.
swag for Paul.
Back to you.
Wow, Paul Vase. I'm impressed. I underestimated him. Okay, so Keeper of the Streams was Cal Trout's original tagline. It really represented what Cal Trout was about, protecting the waters for fish with the belief that you can't have healthy fish without healthy waters.
Absolutely not. I like that tagline, but I like Fishwater people better.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a lot of action going on, a lot of stress. Curtis, you feel stressed out or you feel good?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good, but it's
All right.
always good to
Well, I think we should take a moment to sit with one of our good friends, Craig Ballinger. A highlight from last year's gala. Craig Ballinger is back with Moments of Zen.
Yes.
We're out here today on the Upper Sacramento River, and I'm reminded what people tell me about French cooking. If God made anything better, He kept it for Himself. In the past year, I've been on some of the greatest wild trout streams. I climbed some of the highest mountains, and I've caught some of the wildest steelhead, and I've never left California.
It's such a little taste.
Oh,
it's so good.
I love it. I love it.
So good.
I mean, all of that, right? So what did most people do last year?
Yeah, the year of quarantine.
Good for you, Craig.
Yeah, never had to leave California.
And,
well, that's
and why would you?
Yeah, why would you? It is a pretty.
You weren't supposed to leave your house. But...
it was a pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing state, and Craig made the best of it. All right, let's check in on our fund to need. Sydney, how are we doing on the fund to need?
Okay, here it is.
There's it.
And it's moving. Wow, $785,
Holy
almost
smokes.
$786,000.
That's awesome. We are getting there. Thank you, Bill Landreth, Diana Jacobs, and Rick Elephant, Kelly Barlow, Robert Neidham, Susie and Kit Collins, excellent, Jonathan Zeidel, $785,000. We are cruising towards $1 million. Thank you. Let's keep it going. Now, keep in mind, everyone, as you watch these regional updates and you hear about the achievements from our past, none of this can happen without your support. It starts right here. We are so fortunate to have such a strong base of supporters. Let's keep this whole thing going. Another regional update is ahead of us right now. North Coast Director Darren Maru.
Ooh, North Coast.
Yeah, North Coast.
In California, along our coastal watersheds, we have 9 salmon and steelhead populations that are listed on the Federal Endangered Species Act. And so there's a mammoth effort ahead to recover these fish populations. It's going to take a lot of effort, but we've built the capacity to do that. We've shown that up here on the North Coast with our Woodman Creek project that removed a barrier to a watershed that had ample habitat, but just had a barrier at the mouth from the railroad that was constructed a century ago. And up here on Redwood Creek, you know, we're working with the local ranchers to try to bring a solution to this Army Corps levee project that was installed after the 1964 flood. We need to bring back some of the physical processes that sustained that lagoon system and some of the slough channel networks that provide that really great habitat for salmonids. The only way to do that, we think, is to pull those levees back. We're talking with the landowners about pulling levees back in far enough inland, maybe quarter mile or so, but enough that'll allow winter floodwaters to feed into those slough channels and keep them open, provide fresh water habitat in the wintertime for salmonids, and keep that connection to the lower lagoon open and not get silted in the wintertime. At 50 years old, I think Cal Trout has demonstrated that we're in it for the long haul. We have shown over the years that we have the capacity to sustain the effort that's needed to bring back salmon and steelhead in California. In the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, I think we need to sustain that capacity. We need to focus on priority watersheds, the priority projects, and get them done. We need to bring our state and federal partners along with us to achieve the solutions to accomplish the vision that we see is essential to this effort to recover our salmon and steelhead populations.
All right. Hey, George, we're live.
All right.
Okay, here we go. The 1990s, George. Put your 90s cell phone away.
Got it.
It was in the 90s that we established our North Coast office. How about that view? North Coast, is there a part of the state you like better?
No, man.
Yeah.
Love is what I got.
Love
for
is
the year.
Some people say it's a sublime area.
It truly is.
Yeah, okay. It's also home to some of the wildest rivers in the state. Tom Weslow ran the region for many years, and now we heard from Regional Director Dan Maru and his team. They're just doing such a great job on a headwaters to sea approach on so many of the rivers there, including...
I mean, the Eel, it's such an incredibly special place. It's just so many of us, and there's so much going on there, including, Cal Trout has the opportunity to work on the two-basin approach between the Eel River, the Russian River. That Potter Valley project has been coming up for relicensing, and Cal Trout's on the ground working on that.
We're there, and it really takes some really important partners. Many of them are here tonight, so let's check in with them.
Sure. 4.
Should I leave this one? I'm in the breakout room.
Hey, there we go. You guys hear me? Yeah.
We hear you.
All right. Jared, I see Leslie Johnson in the background. So that means you're at the Johnson household.
I'm here on the Russian River with Steve and Leslie. We're all vaccinated, and it just feels great to be together.
That is, I know. It feels so weird to be in a room with people these days.
Jared, I see Leslie Johnson in the background. So that means you're at the
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you got to mute the live stream and we'll be good to go.
We're all vaccinated, and
yeah, you have to mute the live stream of there we go. All right, Brian Johnson, you're on top of it tonight. Brian Johnson from Trout Unlimited, one of our closest partners throughout the state, all areas. Brian, good friend of mine. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Congratulations. Happy birthday, Cal Trout.
Yes, thank you. And Dave Manning, Sonoma Water. We got some crazy stuff going on with you guys right now.
I think probably 8 to 10 hours a week in,
yes,
in
that's right.
close the Cal Trout and our two-basin solution partners. Thrilling times.
Yeah, I mean, big efforts like that take a lot of time. And Congressman Huffman, they take a lot of leadership, and we have really appreciated everything you've done to really lead the way on this two-basin partnership. Oh, now you're muted.
All right, I think I'm unmuted.
We gotcha.
We gotcha.
Hey, Curtis, I want to congratulate you and Cal Trout on 50 years. That's a big milestone. But I'll tell you what, I am even more than how grateful I am for all of those iconic achievements you've had over those 50 years. I'm grateful for the work you're doing as indispensable partners with me and many other folks right now around the state of California. We're going to get those Klamath dams out in the next couple of years. And that's an incredible partnership. We almost took a wrong turn with Pacific Corps. We got it back on track last year. And I'm feeling really good about that. But there is work to do to bring that river back to life. And we really need Cal Trout. And then moving further south in my beautiful district, the most beautiful district and some of the best fishing anywhere.
No argument.
Our opportunity on the Eel River is this two-basin solution has come together for the Eel and Russian River Basin is historic. And Cal Trout is just indispensable in that coalition. We count on you for the technical expertise to marshal the coalition of fishing and environmental groups and keep working with the tribes and other folks. And I just am so glad you're there. And I'm so grateful to everyone who's supporting Cal Trout tonight because there is a lot more to come in the years ahead. And we're counting on you.
Well, we appreciate that, Congressman Huffman. And like I said in the beginning, it's really the partnerships too. And so Sonoma Water and Trout Unlimited here, a big part of that. It takes a big team, takes a village to do some big things, big ambitious projects like the two-basin partnership. So appreciate everyone here, their work on that issue in particular. Congressman Huffman, what a year you've had. We appreciate everything you're doing representing us back in Washington, D.C. through some turbulent times, to say the least. But I'm really optimistic about the next couple of years.
Thankfully, the insurrectionists practice catch and release.
Yeah, there we go. Nice tie-in and segue. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Curtis.
Okay, take care.
Curtis.
What a great group to talk to.
Congressman Hoffman.
It's
he's
amazing.
Just so good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, did so much for us.
Well, I mean, we're kind of shifting gears a little bit, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about Trout Camp. It's a really special place that we have available to our Golden Trout Circle members. And so we have a camp host there, Craig Ballinger. You all saw him in the Moment of Zen, and he's going to take us on a little tour of Trout Camp.
We're on the banks of the Upper Sacramento River, a historic blue ribbon trout stream, and you have 2.5 to 3 miles of wild trout fishing all to yourself. I'm Craig Ballinger. I'll be your host at the Trout Camp, and we'll talk about the natural history of the region, the springs, the wild trout. You can bring 5 or 6 of your close friends. Everybody will have their own cabin. Many people from all walks of life come up here to this Shasta Springs Trout Camp and tell their stories. They vary from congressmen to Pulitzer Prize winners to chairs of universities to the governor of California. What they all share in common is a love of spending an evening sitting around a campfire and spinning yarns. So while your stay up here will be among the wilderness of Northern California, we have all sorts of amenities here and the life of glamping. One of the greatest pleasures I have are the number and variety of people that come to sit around this campfire.
That's kind of my happy place,
Me
Trout
too.
Camp. Yeah,
Me too.
it just brings joy to you. Sydney, Trout Camp is an auction item.
This must be a lot of people's happy place, or they want it to be their happy place, or what they want to get happy when they go, because it is really one of the most popular auction items each year. The opportunity to stay at Cal Trout's own Trout Camp. Now, this is not your ordinary experience, because board member and acclaimed San Francisco chef and hardcore fisherwoman Loretta Keller will be on hand to prepare a gourmet meal. And yours truly, Curtis, and Craig Ballinger will be your host to serve drinks and also to wash all the dishes too. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, enjoy the secluded gem of a camp on fabled Upper Sacramento River. Let's see, what do we have? Trout Camp. Steve Johnson has a bid of $6,000. Steve, I'm your new best friend. He's going for it. He's going for it. Now, we've got a bidding war. We've got another one, a River X trip, and there's a bidding war going on. So do you love steelhead fishing? You stay right on the banks. We're calling it River X. We're not going to tell you which river it is, but let's put it this way. The fishiest steelhead guide on the planet will be guiding you.
That's a bit of a hyperbole.
Yeah, that's
Anyway, this trip is given by board member Diana Jacobs and her husband Rick Elephant, and they've donated a stay at her cabin, and George Ravel will be your private guide for the steely trip of a lifetime. It is a bidding war now. We are looking at Wally Wallner and Mitch Zuckley. I think it's up to $10,000 now. These guys love the idea of going to this River X trip. So that should be really fun to watch. And another one now, the Klamath. The Klamath. There is a great bid of $4,250. It's another great steelhead opportunity. People are like steely crazy around here. A stay at the Klamath River Club with a tour of Iron Gate Dam. I mean, what more do I need to say? A trip on the legendary Klamath, guides from wild waters, fly fishing. Pretty amazing. $4,250 for that one. We've got about 16 minutes left in this auction, so take a look. Start putting in your bids. It's almost over. Got time for a fishtail? Come on, Curtis. We're gonna make sure you get into here.
Right.
Come on, fishtail. First one to text the name and your name and the correct answer. 909-683-1971. Here it is. Let's take a look. Come on, Curtis.
Head.
Okay.
How's that?
Yes.
Okay, I got that one. Head.
That's a mother and a mother and a
daughter.
But
head
you,
walk. Oh!
All right, we have a winner, and it is
Laura and Jeff Wyatt.
Oh, Laura and
Nice.
Jeff Wyatt. Wow,
Awesome.
congratulations. Thank you very much, Laura and Jeff. Headwaters to Sea. Headwaters to Sea. Again, it's all related to Cal Trout. So thanks very much. Another good one.
Oh,
Another
Laura
winner.
and Jeff, that's awesome. From Santa Barbara.
That's incredible. Well, the Eel River watershed is one of the examples where Cal Trout is taking the headwaters to sea approach, working to remove the Scott Dam all the way up at the top, restoring the flows in the tributaries and removing barriers along the way, opening up all that spawning habitat. Monitoring the fish flows on the South Fork. Some new Didson cameras went in to monitor the fish coming through. It represents one of the best opportunities for anadromous species to flourish in California, and Cal Trout is on it.
Yep, it really does. Darren and his team really doing an awesome job throughout the Eel River. Another example of headwaters to the sea approach that we're taking is down in Southern California for southern steelhead, maybe a less well-known river, the Santa Margarita. Let's check in with South Coast Director Sandy Jacobson again and hear what she has going on down there.
Hi, I'm Sandy Jacobson. I'm the director for the South Coast region for California Trout. I'm based in San Diego, and today we are at the Santa Margarita River in North County, San Diego, and it's the site of our Fish Passage Enhancement Project, which will replace an aging box culvert structure that is a fish passage barrier with a new bridge to allow unhindered steelhead passage as they come in from the ocean. There are over 20 million people in Southern California. Despite this, there's a whole range of places, and the biodiversity is really remarkable. Unfortunately, some aspects of development hinder certain species' ability to reproduce and complete their life history. And this is the case for southern steelhead. They were listed as endangered a number of years ago, and our mission in Southern California is to restore this iconic species from the brink of extinction. So we have a connect and a create strategy that we're employing as we implement the federal recovery plan. We're trying to reconnect steelhead populations and actually reestablish them in the priority rivers. But we're also have a create aspect to this, that there are native rainbow trout that are trapped behind these barriers up in the mountains of Southern California. And because they are highly adapted and they don't have this natural genetic mixing, they become very highly inbred genetically. And so what we're trying to do is mix the genetics to make them more robust and be able to withstand environmental threats like drought and wildfire. Our future vision for the South Coast region is to have really healthy and robust steelhead populations as well as native resident rainbow trout populations. They're both a really important part of the endangered species recovery. So what we focus on are removing the big barriers that occur throughout the South Coast region, but also really focus on the habitat, improving that, and the genetics to make sure that these trout are as healthy as possible to respond to environmental threats.
I mean, amazing work going on down there in Southern California with Sandy. I mean,
it's challenging.
I mean, focusing on recovering those southern steelhead are absolutely critical for their genetic diversity as we have warming water temps, warming climates, fire, burning all the shade around the rivers. This is really important as we move forward. And
it's tough work down there.
Who was that American idiot that built that fish barrier?
You're doing well playing off your
know,
t-shirts. That's
what
good.
can I say?
Yeah, the American idiot. I'm not going to answer who that was. But George, you're doing a nice job walking us through the 2000s.
Yeah.
This decade is when we really stepped up our work in Sacramento on legislative issues, recognizing fish, they need a strong voice in our state's capital.
Absolutely.
And this brings us to highlight an important partnership with the Public Policy Institute of California and the establishment of the Cal Trout PPIC Ecosystem Fellow. So let's go talk to them.
Hey guys.
Hey Curtis.
Hey, look at that. Hey, Ted's double dipping. What's going on here? You got on two.
He hadn't had enough to drink or eat.
I guess not. The party doesn't stop for Ted. That's good. Well, good. Well, Jeff Mounts, Ellen, thank you so much for being here. Ellen directing the water program at PPIC. Jeff Mount, board member. Jeff, I think we have the PPIC Fellowship, Cal Trout Fellow program is something you started. Tell us just a bit about it.
frankly, I didn't start it. It is former board members of Cal Trout who supported this, and we've developed that ecosystem fellowship to basically look at the hard science of trying to restore these ecosystems. And I want to introduce the three of them to everybody tonight. The first one was Ted Grantham, who you've already seen partying hard with the UC Davis crowd because he's a member of that tribe as well. And he was the first Cal Trout Ecosystem Fellow. Letitia Grenier from San Francisco Estuary Institute is the second one and about to release a very important report on permitting. And I'm proud to announce tonight that Sarah Null, Dr. Sarah Null from Utah State is going to be our third Cal Trout Ecosystem Fellow and is working on something very near and dear to you, which is dams and storing water for the environment.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good and important to you. So this is part of the legacy of Cal Trout is science to inform your decisions.
Yes. Well, Ted, Letitia, Sarah, welcome. Can't wait for you to start that. Go Aggies, Utah State. I'm in on that.
That's right.
All right. So, Jeff, we have a quiz for you. Rapid fire, 3 questions in the decade of the 2000s. Are you ready?
I brought my brain trust.
Yes, you did. Okay. So in 2008, Cal Trout and UC Davis published this landmark report in 2008 on the state of California's trout, steelhead, and salmon. What was it called?
Ted
knows.
SOS,
State of the Salmon.
Yeah, State of the Salmon.
SOS, State of the Salmon. Very good. Very good. Okay. This one's going to be harder. In 2003, this animated film featured a little orange fish who found himself, you could say, in hot water.
Finding Nemo, right?
Finding Nemo. Yeah, very good. Your kids were probably watching that a lot by then. Yeah. Okay. And this one's going to be harder. In 2009, Cal Trout took on this multinational giant, challenging their plans to build a water bottling plant at the headwaters of the McCloud. This isn't going to be very hard for you. Who was this multinational giant?
And Nestle, of course, and their bottling plant in McCloud. And this is how we got a great relationship with Cal Trout and UC Davis when we put in a bunch of your basic science there.
Yes, we really did. UC Davis, UC Berkeley, Vince Resch was there too. Bob Haas played a big role in that.
Right.
We, Manat, Phelps, and Phillips, we had quite a team that was working on that. So you guys get you 3 for 3. Not bad. Woo. All right. All right. Thank you, PPIC. Great working with you.
Trout.
Yeah. Take care.
Calm down. All right. We're getting ready to go into the auction. So let's go to Sydney for another auction update.
You're so titillating. Look at Diesel.
Yeah,
He's so excited. All right, auction. Let's get to the auction. Only a few minutes left, so let's go ahead and highlight some great auction items available right now. The Coast to Crest Ridge Dam Tour with Dr. Sandra Jacobson and Russell Marlowe. This is a Cal Trout experience lot. I mean, I didn't even know there were steelhead in Southern California. People call them unicorns. I mean, there are just so very few of them, but there may be more thanks to our conservation efforts and restoration measures. So that's great. You can tour this obsolete dam and barrier to the steelhead migration. That would be pretty exciting, and see what we're doing. One of our projects down there in Southern California. This is one of our great trips too. Do you want to fish in Argentina for a 30-inch brown trout? George says he's only caught one 27, so he maybe needs to go down there and catch one. How about 7 days of fishing from prime dates on private Patagonia waters for 2 people with chocolate lab expeditions? The Majeo and the lower Lamai rivers. Floats, wade trips, picnics by the river, they're all great. Even a fantastic cultural exchange through fishing and food. And if you really want to go on this trip, you ought to go ahead and bid on the great Patagonia roller bag that to take all your gear down there with you. So that would be great. This one, a little closer to Cal Trout headquarters. How about a nice, quiet, romantic staycation in the heart of Napa Valley? Your destination is the Harvest Inn in St. Helena. You'll have a tasting at Duckhorn Vineyards, followed by a farm-to-table dinner for 4, and then a luxurious hotel stay for 4 at the Harvest Inn. So that sounds like a really nice one. Time for another Fish Tales, and this one is so easy. Even Curtis will be able to get it. Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Remember to text the correct name and answer to 909-683-1971. You'll win the Cal Trout Anniversary Bundle. Here it is. Take a look. Look, not even that many pictures. Come on, Curtis.
Well, I'm always good at the first word.
Is it a can a birthday cake?
She's making a wish,
okay.
George.
All right, I got it.
Even, yeah. Okay,
right,
so fishing.
Hot.
Oh, yeah.
Show.
Okay.
Show.
Okay. This one's
Pesk.
This one, I think I might have this one.
Well, let's go ahead because
oh, there it is.
You weren't fast enough, George. Okay, who do we have as the winner?
Dory DeWeese.
Dory DeWeese, congratulations. You beat Curtis. I don't know if that's saying much, but you beat Curtis. Anyway, we'll have another one a little bit later on, I think. So, Curtis, George.
Well, fish in hot water, that's not what we want, right?
No, that's a bad thing.
What do we want? More Craig Ballinger moments of Zen.
Yes.
So let's turn to that.
Yes.
Well, it's been quite a year. The seas haven't exactly parted for us, but maybe the moon is tugging at the tide.
What was that phrase you said? Maybe the
moon is tugging at the tide. That just makes me think about going striper fishing. That's what I want to do right
yeah,
now. When I hear the tide,
that's
the
where
moon,
you're
I want to go
thinking
chase
big
stripers.
I can see how your brain would go there. Well, it's hard to transition out of something like that.
Where do you go from here?
Let's check in on the fun end.
That's a great idea.
This is our goal tonight. Bringing in the support for our projects. Let's see how we're doing. I know that we've had a couple of significant contributions to the Fund and Need from Ed De La Rosa has come in. Chairman Paul Vase has come in there. And let's see where we are on our goal. It's rising up. The last time we checked. Whoa. Okay, so we're at $857,000. We are close. Ed De La Rosa, Paul Vase, thank you very much for your support there. You're pushing us towards the top.
142 more to go.
We only got a couple more steps, and we get there.
Yeah.
There's a pretty cool auction item though too. I don't even think it's been mentioned. Duck hunting with the Jacobs. That's Jake Katz.
Yeah,
Jacob
have we
Montgomery.
talked about duck hunting with the Jacobs?
I don't think so, but don't we?
But speaking of duck hunting with the Jacobs, and speaking of the Jacobs, Dr. Jacob Katz. Okay, first, before we go to Jacob, we're gonna get a regional update with Jacob. We are extending the auction to 8:15. Sydney, 8:15. The auction is gonna stay open.
Yeah,
for...
I mean, we've got some bidding wars going. I mean, we are so close to our goal of $1 million. What did you say?
857,000.
So we're just, less than $150,000 to go. And come on, we're going to extend the auction a little bit to let you keep bidding. And we've got a couple more sort of transitions in our program tonight. So not much longer, but please get out and bid. We've got some really great auction items out there, and you're doing it. I mean, every dollar counts, and we are getting so much closer to that goal.
Well, I mean, let's talk to Jacob Katz, Cal Trout senior scientist, right? The Theory Project.
Let's hear from him. Yep, let's hear what he has to say.
The Sacramento Valley was altered in two key ways. First, all of our rivers and streams were levied. Dirt was piled up next to those fish-bearing streams, and it cut off the water and the fish from the landscape. And second of all, that landscape that was primarily wetlands was all designed to drain. Now, water that falls on the Sacramento Valley is pushed off as quickly as possible. That's what allows agriculture. It's what keeps the city of Sacramento safe from flood, but it also had some unintended consequences. Science like this usually happens, at the university in a petri dish, in Tupperware. But this is made to operate on the same scale that we want to see it implemented, at the landscape scale. And what we're looking at here is the capacity for the landscape to actually create fish and wildlife.
D9, 3B, 7B, D62, D9, 3B, 6D.
This project has come a long way in the last couple of years, where we started just draining a field or two at a time. Now we're draining 5,000 up to 9,000 acres this year.
Without the cooperation of the farmers and landowners within the Sacramento area, we wouldn't really be able to have the success that we are having with our project.
Definitely a big sense of pride, be partnership with Cal Trout and even other growers as we expand this program and really build this monumental step that we're taking here for the Valley. And so it's great to see this program really start to expand and really gain momentum throughout the entire Valley.
We can take the science that we learn here and apply it to the landscape broadly with our partners like water districts, farmers, and what we're showing here is that if we understand how the natural system works, we can integrate that into how we manage.
And that's what makes sense for everybody, for my landowners, is this is what used to happen. And there's a lot of confidence in that it will actually work because it's actually how the system used to function.
All of the different folks that live in these agricultural communities have partnered with us in creating another outcome, one that isn't fish or farms, but is based on integrating a knowledge of nature into how we manage this landscape.
I mean, such amazing and revolutionary work going on in the Central Valley. I mean, it's innovative, it's scalable, it has multiple benefits for fish, ducks, farms. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's really inspiring. And 2010s is where we are. One notable thing that happened in the 2010s is Lost Coast Outfitters started.
2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
George.
you. Thank you.
Huge success. And Jacob Katz, Dr. Jacob Katz came to us from UC Davis in 2012 and really proceeded on this vision of working with these partners. So what we're going to do is we're going to check in with Jacob and a bunch of these rowdy partners over at River Garden Farms. So everybody ready to jump in? Here we go.
Yo, yo.
Jake.
You there?
Jacob. Yes, I am here. I can see you.
Hey,
I can
CK.
see you twice. Looking
Look
good.
at this.
Looking
You guys,
good.
everyone raise a hand. Look there.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. That is a great.
So good to see you. Look, I think we just one screen at a time. What do you say? Yeah.
Okay, I got you there. Hey, you guys win the show, Roger. Roger, for the biggest party by far.
There we go. Yeah. Hey, get up, everybody. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, Jake, just tell me who's immediately around you right there. Tell me who's right there.
All right.
Can you hear me?
We got everybody here. So Roger Cornwell and I.
Hey, Roger.
David Guy, Todd Hanley, Fritz Durst, Les Cantor,
Yeah.
Louis Bear. We got the whole. We got Puig. We got the century. The Sacramento Valley's here. We love you, Cal Trout.
All right. Yes. Okay. I want to ask you guys something though. Are you prepared to do a 3-question quiz based in the 2010s?
Yeah, 3-question quiz. Only
No.
if you can let me translate for the room. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think that is
Okay.
3-question quiz. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
We
All
can't
right, here we
really
go.
hear you.
Okay. The first one's a big old softball because I think you guys need one of those. Named after fish over rice, this proof
There's
of
a big old softball.
This proof of concept project demonstrated that we can effectively manage California's water. There we go. I didn't even finish. That's
The
good.
whole room got that one.
Okay.
They were like, cut that off. It's Nagiri, man.
Okay, this one's going to be harder. In 2012, in 2012, this film starred a fisheries scientist who had the implausible task of bringing salmon fishing to a Middle Eastern country. What's the name of the movie?
Oh, what film in 2012 was about bringing salmon to a Middle Eastern country? Remember the one that was in, yeah. Salmon, no, that wasn't it. Yeah. What was it? Yes, salmon fishing in Yemen.
Salmon fishing in Yemen. All right. You
Something
guys are
like that,
2
right?
for 2, but we're going to bail out on this whole thing.
David Guy says there was no going back, Curtis. He's
Okay.
pretty sure it was no going back. It won the. All right.
Okay, no going back. Jacob, we're out of here. Thank you. Enjoy the evening.
Okay. You guys give him a shout goodbye. Woohoo!
Guys.
Well, the Zoom capabilities of the Nagiri project aren't the best.
All right, that was a little nuts.
It is projects like that do
I know
truly
It is.
exemplify Cal Trout's mission of connecting fish, water, and people.
Yeah.
So often in our world, we see challenges, and it's projects like the Nagiri project that make me excited for the future of salmon in California.
Yeah.
Well, should we do another auction check-in? We're pretty close.
We've got some
Let's send
great
it to Sydney.
auction item. They were waiting a little too long, huh? I think they were having a hot Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got some great auction items right now. Okay, Flywater Travels Angling Adventure Package at the Kauai Lodge in Chilean Patagonia. Does that sound great? 6 days of fishing for 2 in Chile's spectacular trout waters. Outdoor experiences, you got hiking, you've got rafting, you've got horseback ride. Look at that huge fish. And you've got wonderful fishing in the foothills of the Andes. And our next one, we have a casting and coffee experience courtesy of George Ravel. George, I'm going to let you explain what this is about.
Yeah, so we'll meet out at the Golden Gate Angling and Casting Club. I'll bring some pastries from, I don't know, whatever I'm feeling, and make some pour-over coffee. We'll start the morning as the sun rises with a little bit of coffee, some chocolate croissants. We'll grab some rods with you, 3 other friends, and do a little bit of casting out the casting ponds for a couple hours. Great way to start the day.
Sounds fantastic, and I understand that it is a pretty popular item because I bid on it twice and someone's already outbid me. I want to tell you though, that Patagonia trip, it is already going for $12,200. David Finn, great, this is wonderful. So David Finn, $12,200 for the Patagonia trip. George, yours is up to $850, and thank you, Lori Galloway, for that. And we also have one more quick auction item, a Puddle Power Tour. You just saw the video on all the fish food and the floodplains. Well, this Cal Trout experience will take you up close and personal with this project and people. The Jacobs will take you on a tour of the project it's really changing the course of California water policy. So you can see science in action. This would be great to take your science-minded student or a friend on this conservation tour. That is going for $1,450 now. Chuck Farman is in the lead on this auction.
Awesome.
Yeah. Do we have time for another fishtails round? I mean, this is so exciting,
love 'em.
right? Good. Curtis, let's go for it. Let's take a look. Here we go. Come on, Curtis.
Ooh.
Come on, Curtis.
That's
Look at S and an I and an...
Science.
Yes. Science.
Okay, I see it.
What is it?
Ace to the base.
Okay.
Science heart. Broken heart. No.
I don't know.
Base.
Okay.
Ace.
You have it. You have it. Come on,
Base.
George.
Science-based.
Oh, yeah.
Science-based science.
Science-based
Science
for you. Science-based.
Sold, like soul without the D is soul. You. Oh, brother.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. We have a winner. We have a winner.
Haley Grubbs.
Haley
Yes.
Grubbs, you are
All right.
going to get some wonderful Cal Trout memorabilia for our 50th anniversary, a mug and a pennant and a buff. So that is great. Okay. That was fun, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
thank you for saving us on that one, Haley.
Yeah, Haley, nice job. That last one was science-based solutions.
Yes, yes.
Our work starts with science and research.
Mm-hmm.
It's needed to inform the restoration and protection work that we do.
Yep.
So a lot of science, a lot of this, a lot of that, auctions, a lot of stuff going on.
Well, that's all great, but I'm already stressed out. Diesel's stressed out. I think we need another moment of zen
Diesel
with Craig.
needs it.
I know I do. Can we get Craig here? Oh.
I'm thinking about 1921. It will be 50 more years until the birth of California trout. During that period of time, California was completely replumbed and some of the world's largest dams were built. All this must have seemed unthinkable in 1921. Today we look ahead another 50 years and the work that must be done, and that might seem unthinkable too. But it's only unthinkable if you don't think it.
I mean, I heard he has a book this thick of just things like that.
I want that book. I want that book. It's only unthinkable if you don't think it.
That makes you think.
If you think about it, so I think it makes sense. It's crazy. Yeah, but Craig is.
Well, we get to sit around the campfire with him tonight. We'll ask him more about it.
That's right.
We'll get back to you on all that.
That's right. We'll figure that one out for you. George, to round out our tour of the state, let's check in with Patrick Samuel, our Bay Area director.
Our hometown director.
Our hometown.
I remember catching a wild brook trout in New Jersey, place I was born, and I just thought it was the most gorgeous thing I'd ever seen in my whole life, this beautiful gem, this wild brook trout. And being from out of state and coming to California has made me realize just what diversity and abundance is still here, how lucky we are to have all of this, and knowing it could still be better. My vision for the Bay Area is to have people being able to see steelhead in their backyards, in all of our tributaries, you know, San Francisco Creek, down in the peninsula, down into the South Bay, Guadalupe River, you know, right through San Jose. What I'd love to see is steelhead thriving in these landscapes and understanding that those fish indicate healthy waters upon which we all depend. The projects that we have going on in the Bay Area right now will help us get there. We're investing in strategic, productive habitats like Pescadero. We're working to help understand how steelhead utilize that habitat. Can that be a place that supports coho salmon again? We think so. The Napa River historically was the biggest producer of both Chinook salmon and steelhead into San Francisco Bay. How can we invest strategically to remove barriers or to keep more water in stream so that those fish can rebound and help reseed nearby populations? Here at Walker Creek, we're trying to lead with science to help us understand what is the additional boost these fish need to actually support a real robust, self-sustaining population so that we can, let fish be wild without having to supplement with stocked fish from a hatchery.
At the Russian River Salmon and Steelhead Monitoring Program, we partner with a number of agencies, and we were really excited when Pat reached out. This is just the first year of this pilot study, and we're really excited to see how this data set evolves and to see where our partnership with CalTrout takes us.
In the Bay Area, we have a unique opportunity to engage youth. And so what that looks like now is youth fly tying and casting events, but also outreach and education here at places like Walker Creek Ranch to get people to realize that the fact that we have these fish says some things are working right, and that we have them right here in the Bay Area. You don't have to drive 4 hours or to Alaska to come see salmon.
A lot of human activities have made it really hard for these fish populations to thrive in these watersheds. So just being able to work towards getting the populations and the systems back is worth it. And there's no reason why fish and people shouldn't be able to coexist in this world together.
I think leaving California better than I found it is something that drives me, and I want a brighter future for my kids than the world that I've inherited, and so that's sort of what drives me to keep doing the work that I do.
I mean, it's amazing that there's so much potential for fish and habitat and wildlife right here in our backyard, in the Bay Area.
Yeah, steelhead in the backyard, it really is. And Patrick was touching on the youth, the future generations. It's really amazing. George, we are coming down to it. It's 8:14. Sydney, quick, what's going on with the auction?
I just got outbid, and then I bid again for George. I want to go fishing and have coffee. I know he's going to feed me too, and learn to cast. Anyway, let's quickly, we've got another trip that we want to highlight. It's the Steelhead Trinity trip with AC Fly Fishing for 4 guests. AC Fly Fishing is amazing. Some great guides. Camping, glamping, floating, camping, Steelhead Spectacular. It's a 2-day float with super steelhead guides John Facchetti and Jason Cockrum. Boy, doesn't that look nice right now? Wouldn't you like to be doing that?
Yes.
So that is one of the great ones. I think we have about a minute left, so hurry up and get your bids in. AC Fly Fishing, we have a bid of $4,000 from James Burton. So James, wonderful. If you just stick right there. You never know, you're gonna get it. We have about a minute left, so we're just waiting. And just remember, I mean, every time someone puts a bid in, it just extends the auction just a few minutes more. We wanna make sure everyone gets a chance to get their favorite auction item.
Yeah. That's awesome, that's exciting. Well, we're at 8:15. Hopefully that thing keeps extending on, but let's check our number at where we are.
Come on.
Our goal of trying to reach $1 million here. We're up to 891,000. We got a little more to do. That's all right. This has been an amazing night to date. Let's go. Let's see. Is there any people we can thank? I know right now we've had in the last hour Mike Green. Thank you, Virtue Investments. Really appreciate that, Mike. Doug Ballinger and Andy Cuz
Nice.
weighing in. Nicely done. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you up at Trout Camp soon. I know you're coming up.
I mean, it's just amazing. I'm just really overwhelmed by all the love and support people have given California trout. People who decided on a Friday night to be here and to be a part of this and to see what we're doing, but also to support us so that your donations, you have to understand they make such a big difference in our waters and in the natural world that really your kids, your grandkids are gonna enjoy for years to come. So really, thank you very, very much for being a part of this evening with us. And I know we're just waiting for the auction to count down. And I know some people are so generous with the auction items. Are we still at the very end now?
No, well, thank Sydney. That's so well said. The one thing to remember is you can keep donating to the fund in need in the coming weeks. So we're really close to our goal. I know we're going to get there. I want to start to wind down the evening. I think the auction is closed. We're closed, right?
Well, we've got a few that we're offering twice.
Bidding wars.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a few bidding wars going on.
Let's see. Okay, bidding wars. We got, you know what? Patagonia, the Chocolate Lab Expeditions. That is wonderful. I think that, and what we're finding out, let's see. Okay, what we're finding out is these auctions have closed, but Flywater Travel, Skeena River Lodge, congratulations. The winner, we have a winner there, but we understand that Flywater Travel has agreed to donate, let's see, is that right, a second trip? A second trip. Awesome. We're gonna contact the second place bidder to see if they would like to grab it at the very same price. Okay, Kauai River Lodge in Patagonia, Flywater Travel has said that they are going to offer yet another trip. So we're going to reach out to the next bidder. I mean, we have such generous sponsors, people who are really want Cal Trout to succeed. They are offering these trips. Chocolate Labs Expeditions, their Patagonia trip to Argentina, it was won, and thanks to them, they're going to offer a second trip. So if you missed out at the first time and you really, really want to go, Tracy is going to be giving you a call and giving you that opportunity thanks to our generous sponsors with these trips. And who's going to be joining George for casting croissants and coffee at the Golden Gate Angling and Casting Club? George, if I didn't win it, can I just pay and go?
War.
You think I can
I'll
get in on your busy schedule?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, George is offering that as well. So that is wonderful. Thank you so much, George. Again,
well, we might need to let you go bid back on that again. Yeah, I think you're in a bidding war for George right there. So while that's happening, while we're wrapping things down, let's just give another shout out to our watershed sponsors.
Absolutely.
I mean, really, they were a huge part of this evening. The Landreth family, so great to see you all on the screen. Linda and Andy Ash, thank you so much. Oric, Mitch Zuckley, love it. Kelly and Carrie Barlow, the Vadinsky family, Scott and Heather Tucker, James and Marie Green, and the American Pacific Group. Fraser Preston, thanks for being there for us. Premier trips.
You got a little tongue-tied there. For
I
a
did.
second.
I did.
Well,
It's
I'll
late.
take this last one
Yes,
off your hands for you.
yeah.
So, thank you to all the trip providers and auction donors. Just to name a few, there were so many. So, I just want to thank a few. Flywater Travel, Ken Morrish. Year after year, you continually donate to California Trout, and we're so thankful. Chocolate Lab Expeditions, Lost Coast Outfitters, all of you California fly fishing guides, Klamath River Club, Keith Anderson, San Francisco Flycasters, Val Atkinson, AC Fly Fishing, Diana Jacobs, Rick Kaufman, so many.
Yeah.
And a huge
Incredible.
thank you to the Pusher team here behind the cameras
Yeah,
tonight.
the Pusher
Thank you
team.
guys
Woo!
for making this night possible. Tracy for making us all look good. And and for the puzzles. Actually,
and having faith in the fishtails. That was good.
absolutely. And the other Cal Trout staff,
All our
who,
staff.
who just came together.
Amazing.
And Sydney
Amazing.
Well-
for showing
And
up.
Sydney,
And
come in here between
making
us.
us
Oh,
look
did I
bad.
get
You got to give me a middle.
Oh, okay. I got a Curtis and George sandwich. Thank
There we
you
go.
guys.
All right.
Thank you. This was wonderful.
Are we done, or we still have some bidding wars going on? What are we doing?
Still have like 150 open items.
Whoa.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So that means
Yeah.
people still bidding on 150 items? What's that mean, Nick?
That number's not right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
there's like 20 open items.
Well,
Should we just say goodnight and let people go?
okay.
and
I
have a
said,
wonderful
Fun and
Friday?
Neat is open
Yeah,
for a
it
couple
is.
of nights.
We have 3 more moments as Zen, though.
We
We do?
No, I wish.
The Ballinger rod is still in a bidding war. That's open. Does anyone want to jump
Ballinger Rod is still in a bidding war.
Klamath River Club still in.
Klamath River Club is.
Sorry, that's close.
Okay, that's close. Who won the Klamath River Club?
Sorry, hold on. Let's see.
So there's still a lot of activity in the auction, and that could go on. If you bid within 5 minutes of the last bid, it could keep going,
Keeps rolling.
conceivably forever.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity. But we know somebody's going to give up at some point. But this is great. Thank you all for being so excited about the trips that are being offered. Nick, what's our update?
The update is we're at just under 900,000.
Wow.
Just
All right.
900.
We've got
That's amazing.
Coyhaique River is still open. Chocolate Lab Patagonia is still in a bidding war.
Okay, so 2 of the biggest prizes.
Ballinger Special is in a bidding war.
We probably come.
George, explain that. What's it mean to buy twice?
Well, so we have the auction item. The winner, the highest bidder, they get it. But then what we're going to do is go to the second highest bidder and say, hey, this person paid $12,500. You too can have this trip for the same amount. And then we sell it twice. And Cal Trout doubles its money.
Right.
Why would you not do that? Tax deduction.
Such generous
That's awesome.
outfitters
Amazing.
who have
Yeah.
offered not 1 but 2 trips.
Absolutely.
That's just
Yep.
so Cal Trout can really do so
It's
much
amazing.
more.
It's amazing. Those trip providers are just incredible. So we have a couple bidding wars still going on. And then we have this opportunity. If you come in second, you get it at the winner's price.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll send out an email next week with the update.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. We thank you all for joining us here. Hey, keep those bidding wars going. That's awesome. Helps us out. We really appreciate the Cal Trout community being here for us. So thank you all.
And if your friends aren't there watching this with you, send them the link to the video. Get them to donate. Let's hit that $1 million mark.
That would be wonderful. Thank you all for joining us this evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey,
Take
we'll
care.
see you next year. Good night.
Thank you.
All right.
studio for like 6 months?
It was somewhere.
For a little while.
I forgot about that. I still have a sweet poster.
Yeah, we had your fly rod for a while. Shows how much you blended into the